अच्छा। हरि ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम नमस्तुते व्यास विशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दाय तपत्र नेत्र येन त्वया भारत तैलपूर्ण प्रज्वलितो ज्ञानमय प्रदीप। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरुर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरुर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरुर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोः कृपा। ओम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय। सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय। कृष्ण भगवान की जय। गीता महारानी की जय। हरि ओम। We are discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita and 15th chapter, Purushottama Yoga. Yesterday we saw this 7th stanza, Mamaivanso jivaloke jivabhutah sanatanah manasashthanindriyani prakriti sthani karsate. This is what we were discussing yesterday. And he says, an eternal portion of myself having become a living soul in the world of life draws to itself, draws to the life's five senses, draws to five senses with the mind for the sixth, abiding in nature. So yesterday we saw, now the Lord explains how the individual soul comes into being, how he becomes a being, individual soul. And what is the definition, how is it formed? All these we have to see. The individual soul is a ray of the Lord, a ray of the Supreme Being, enters into nature, draws to itself the five senses. That means he takes the help of senses and the mind and becomes an embodied soul. It creates a body, so it becomes embodied soul. Before it, It will not have any body. Body means a group. A group. Body means not one. So in this way, he explained, he draws to senses, 5 senses, and that is we may take it as the 5 units. Sabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Because of it gets united or related with, it gets contact with the sense objects. And as this, the 5 senses, and mind also is there as the 6th sense, and it becomes an embodied soul. That means just as the silkworm, it creates a cocoon around it out of itself. Similarly, or the spider, it creates the network and gets entangled with it. Similarly, this individual soul, which is nothing but a ray of the supreme luminosity, supreme light. One ray, just as the ray of sun, yesterday we were discussing, a ray of sun, though it is not different from the sun, yet we take it as different from the sun, and it has speed, it emanates from the sun and it spreads around in 360 degree, all round directions, and it travels until and unless it is obstructed by something. In this way, this ray, one ray of the Absolute, when it is spread all over in all directions, one ray becomes one individual soul with a body by the help of 5 senses, and the 6th mind as the commander of it, commander of the group. By assuming a body, here is a description of how the subtle body or linga sarira enters the gross body. This is what we were discussing yesterday. Subtle body here, sometimes we have the meaning, we describe the subtle body as the individual soul, which is not the causal body. There are 3 bodies. From one angle, if we see, the individual soul has 3 bodies. One is gross physical body, other is subtler than the gross body, which is known as the carrying body, or the ativahik sarir, or it is called the individual self, individual soul, which is subtler than the gross body, and it abides inside in the core of heart of the whole gross body. The heart means the interior, central, stable point. It may be smaller than the smallest, it may be, when it spreads, it can be grosser than the grossest also. This is how we know the subtle body, And here he says the subtle body. This is as we have known yet. This subtle body, he says, or Linga Sarir. Linga Sarir, the causal body. Linga means the symbolic body. How it is, what is the difference between the subtle body and the causal body? What is the difference? If we see it analytically, this causal body is subtler than the subtle body. In degree, if we see, the gross body is of highest degree of grossness, and subtle body, the individual soul, the carrying body is subtler than this in degree in comparison, and the causal body is still subtler than this. Sometimes we give the example of the president of a country. President does nothing. His presence governs the whole country. The government runs because of his presence. When the need arises, he just signs to show his presence, to assure his presence before everyone, but practically he does nothing. हम हिंदी में कहते हैं गोबर गणेश, गोबर गणेश. He does nothing, but his presence, as long as his presence is there, everything goes on silently, perfectly, in every respect. His presence is enough. For that, I shall give you an example. Once what happened, the President of India, who was childhood friend of our Swamiji Chidananda Maharaj, they belonged to same state and they were studying in the same school, in school career. And afterwards, the directions change. He comes to this side, and President, the future President, and then the student friend of Swamiji, he went in different direction, and finally he became the President of India, and Swamiji became the President of DLS, Worldwide Divine Life Society. So Chidananda Swamiji used to come to Gangotri, and I had to conduct all the, from Rishikesh onwards, whatever program is conducted, it is conducted by me. Other parts, I am not concerned. The hilly region programs I have to see for Swamiji. That time, somehow, the President of India, he wanted to visit Gangotri, and he came to know that Swamiji also goes to Gangotri, and he stays there for some time, passes some time in seclusion. So he wanted to come to Gangotri when Chidananda Swamiji will be there. They will meet each other there. After 20 years, there is a beautiful essay. Have you gone through it? After 20 years, there were two friends, and they were very close to each other. And once at a particular spot, they, when they were entering into their uh, uh, worldly life, they went to a spot. They promised after 20 years we shall meet here. Don't forget each other. We shall meet. What happens? We shall meet each other here after 20 years and see who has gone in what direction and what all experiences we have. We shall share. One became a policeman and other became, somehow he became a culprit, and the police wanted to, the same police wanted to catch him. So he caught him at the spot after 20 years. The story is a most wonderful story, beautiful essay. After 20 years, similarly, after long interval, both the presidents will meet each other at Gangotri. They had the plan. Now, Chidan Sanjay's schedule was sent to the president, and he arranged his program accordingly, and everything was settled. And you know, president's program is not under his own control. He has securities and many other advisors, personal advisors. Many such rules and regulations are there by which the president is bound, as it were. He is not free to go anywhere and everywhere, because his safety is safety of the country. So somehow a program was cancelled. Program of president was cancelled. And Siddhant Swami came and we went to Gangotri. Before that I had to go to Gangotri and see everything, whether the arrangement is done perfectly or not. I do everything. So I have seen Gangotri before Swamiji reaches there. Swamiji, when steps down there, he saw Gangotri to be something else. It is so neat and clean, and some gates are, temporary gates are made with the flowers and beautifully decorated, and everywhere there is roadside, it is marked by white line or something. And till then also some police people were there. All the departments were alert. President will come. Everywhere, everything, water system, bijli, and everything was perfect. President is going to come. And for his stay also everything was arranged there. Somehow it was cancelled just 1 day before. And when Swamiji steps down there, he saw everything is changed. Gangotri was not like this before. How it is? Then I narrated the story to Swamiji. Swamiji, the president, had to come here, and so all these arrangements and all these cleanliness and all the sweepers and all those different departments, water department and electricity department, forest department, all the revenue department, everybody was alert, and they were for a day together, they were engaged in beautifying Gangotri. President will come. What happened? Is he coming? I said, no, Swamiji, somehow his program is cancelled. Then Swamiji gave the example. It has an example for my life long. How the presence does everything. The news, the president will come, has done everything. President didn't do anything. Only the rumor, the news, the information of president's coming has changed the whole Gangotri situation, everything is changed. If you go to Ganga bank, how nice it is, so clean and neat and clean. So that is how the causal body does. Causal body is nothing but the presence of the Absolute, which does everything. Presence of the Absolute, by which the whole universe runs because of his fear. So this is how causal body is so subtle. It has got no particular body with form. Just as the thoughts have no form, it is subtler than the speech, verbal sound or other sounds. But the thought is more powerful. It does everything. It controls everything. It controls the mind, the intellect, the prana, the whole body. It is controlled by the thought power. And the whole creation is controlled by thought power, creative power, and knowledge power, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. They are so subtle, they govern the whole universe, whole creation, not one, innumerable creations. So causal body is like that. Now here, this causal body, Linga Sharir, enters the gross body. How does it enter? How it will enter? The presence, the news reached Gangotri. Not only Gangotri, Uttarkasi district headquarters and province headquarters, everywhere, everybody was alert. The president is going to come. How it enters, the news everybody heard and everybody got alert. This is how, just as the news reaches Gangotri and all around Gangotri, similarly this presence of the Absolute, that means the consciousness, I am, awareness, that is everywhere there, and little array of it enters into this individual being. When the body and the subtle body is ready, then it is aware that I am the body. It is aware that I am the body. Body awareness, that is called entering into the body. It doesn't enter like a nail enters into the wall. Understood now? Tat sritva tadanubhisat. In this way, I am this. And this is how the nature binds the Purusha also. 14th chapter we saw how nature binds the Purusha by Jnana Sangena Vadnati, Sukha Sangena Vadnati, Karma Sangena Vadnati, or Moha Sangena Vadnati, Nidra Sangena Vadnati. Three qualities they, by being vibrated differently, it influences the soul and they get entangled with each other. This is how it is tied up. Vidyate hridaya granthi chidyante sarva sansaya. When the knowledge dawns, this knot, the knot of the tie gets loosened, and both the Purusha and Prakriti, they get freed from each other, they separate from each other. The Purusha becomes the seer, the witness, and the nature becomes the witnessed object. Then there is no tie. But in the beginning, I am the body. That is the starting point of your bondage. I am the body. So this Linga Sariri enters the gross body in this way. Although the sun is reflected in water, it is not in any way tainted by the water. The ray of sun reaches the water, and the reflection is made in the water by the ray of light. Do you think the rays of the light, rays of the sun is polluted, tainted by the water? समरथ को नहीं दोष गोसाई रबी पावक सुरसरी की नाई. The sun is all powerful, so it can spread its rays, its light, it can distribute to everyone, whether it is dirty, dust, or rubbish nonsense, or it is Ganga water, whether it is pure or impure, it is not considered by the sun because of its all powerfulness or its impartiality. It distributes its light to everyone. Similarly, the kindness or the heart of a saint is for the whole universe. That's how he thinks of the universe, and Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha is said. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam said on a saint. Although the sun is reflected in water, that means the rays of sun reaches water surface and the reflection is created. Even then, the rays of sun never gets cold, its temperature never gets lessened or higher. It never gets polluted, it never gets influenced by water. And yet, the reflection is seen in water. When a crystal comes in contact with a red cloth or red flower, it seems to be red, but it is really not so. Even so, the Supreme Being is not in any way tainted by the actions of the individual soul. In no way it is affected or influenced. Just as the ray of the sun is never get polluted, so also the Linga Sharir is never polluted by the actions of the subtle body or the gross body. The Purusha and Prakriti being one, whatever they do as doer or whatever they enjoy as enjoyer, it has got no influence over the causal body nor the absolute. Ignorance is the limiting adjunct of the individual soul. आज हम वही तो चर्चा कर रहे थे योग वशिष्ठ में, तो एक ही चीज, जहाँ जाओ एक ही चीज, अज्ञान का कारण क्या है? What is the cause for ignorance, which is cause for, again, the cause for the whole miseries of the world. We saw four different, though they are one and the same, it looks like different from each other, four causes of ignorance. What are those? Samvedana, bhavana, vasana, kalana. All four are only ignorance, and root cause is bhavana. Now, he says ignorance is the limiting adjunct, creating a boundary by which the individual being is known as individual by some formation. Formation means it will have a form only when it will have demarcating lines. If there is no demarcating line, then there is no form. It is all-pervading oneness. So when the unlimited, all-pervading oneness is formed by some limiting adjuncts, that is known as the formation of the being, or it becomes something which we name as being, because being is perfect word, because it has become something by formation, by demarcations, and it is bound it as it were. This is called, because of demarcating lines, it will be bound all around by the demarcating lines. So this is called bondage. When it is bound, then it is bondage. This is how we are bound. The moment you have become an individual soul, you are tied up. That's all. There is no way out. The moment you just delete your lines of boundary, then you are unlimited being. You are one with the universe. तभी तो मैं वो बोलता ना, समझ समझ। जब समझा नहीं था, कंगाल था, मांग रहा था, मिला नहीं। अब समझ गया मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, भर गया घर मांगा नहीं। क्यों? मेरा समझ के लिए ही मैं कंगाल था। समझ मेरा नहीं था कि मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, सारा दुनिया मेरा है, ये मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था। क्यों नहीं आ रहा था समझ में? क्योंकि मैं एक छोटा सा ममता, छोटा सा घर का, मेरा छोटा सा स्वार्थ भरा न कभी। आज मेरा स्वार्थ समस्त विश्व के साथ, विश्वंभर साथ खड़े हैं। अभी मेरा जो बाउंड्री मैं तोड़ दिया, छोटा सा घर का जो बाउंड्री था उसको तोड़ दिया। अब सारा विश्व मेरा बन गया, बाउंड्री खत्म। अब तो मैं शहंशाह हूँ, जहाँ देखूं वो मैं यार मेरा, मुझे मेरा प्रेम कोई दूजा नहीं है कि नहीं। यह आश्रम कैसे बना मालूम? मैं तो बनाया, और मैं इसे आश्रम के अंदर बंधन में पड़ गया। कैसे? पहले मेरा कोई कुटिया उटिया नहीं था, मेरा कुटिया बह गया था गंगा जी में। मैं सोचा, अरे गंगा मैया मेरा कितना उपकार किया, हाँ मेरे बाउंड्री तोड़ दिया। अच्छा है, अभी घूमते रहूँगा। छोटा सा कुटिया का मेरा ममता था, अब तो कुटिया गई गंगा जी में 78 की बाढ़ में। मैं बड़ा आनंद से सोचा, चलो अब घूमेंगे, सारा जिंदगी परिव्राजक बन करके बिता दूंगा। बढ़िया है, पेड़ के नीचे कहीं भी, कहीं कहीं मंदिर में, कहीं धर्मशाला में, कहीं भी अपना पेड़ के नीचे, रास्ता किनारे, पारा पेड़ के ऊपर बहुत जिंदगी बिताया। आसमान मेरा छत है, और कुछ ईंट या नहीं तो कुछ पेड़ लता थोड़ा टाइनी तोड़ करके ला करके वहाँ उसी से बांध करके तकिया बना देता, बढ़िया मजा से सो जाऊं। क्या सुंदर बेड। तो वो जब वो कुटिया बह गया, मैं तो सोचा चलो वही जिंदगी मेरा बहुत बढ़िया था। लेकिन फिर क्या हुआ, महात्मा लोग प्रेम संगे न बध्नाति। उत्तरकाशी के महात्मा लोग गुरु है हमारे थे, और भी सब कहे, अरे प्रेमानंद तू जाएगा कहीं भी तो सिर तो झुकाना है ना, कहीं किसी के छत के नीचे, तो दूसरे के छत के नीचे क्या अपना छत बना ले कि हम करेंगे मदद, तेरा कुछ करना जरूरत नहीं। मेरे को जबरदस्त बांधे। फिर सरकार भी कहा, जिसका मकान बह गया बाढ़ में, वो कहीं भी बैठ जाओ, वो जमीन उसको, सरकारी ज़मीन कहीं भी बैठ जाओ, उसको हम बाद में रेगुलेशन करवाएंगे और उसके नाम पर कर देंगे, अभी फ़िलहाल कहीं भी बैठ जाओ। तो मैं इधर देखा, फिर जब सब मेरे को ज़बरदस्ती किए, तो इधर सब खुला मैदान पड़ा हुआ था। इधर सरकारी ज़मीन था, सरकार तो सारा भारत सरकार है। इधर आकर मैं बैठ गया, धीरे धीरे तेरा मेरा होने लग गया। अच्छा, एक झोपड़ी बनाया तो झोपड़ी कभी एक बार क्या हुआ, बाउंड्री कुछ नहीं था, रात को लकड़ी मिला था सरकार से, पेड़ मिला था, उसको चिरा करके कुछ तख्ते काट करके ठोक करके मैं अपने हाथ में एक झोपड़ी बना दिया था लकड़ी का। तो रात को एक दिन एक भैंस आया, आवारा भैंस इधर उधर घूमते, रात को आकर के वो थोड़ा आश्रय देखा तो वह आकर के वो जो लकड़ी का दीवार था, तख्तों का दीवार था, उसके पास सो गया था। रात को वो घिस रहा है, अपने शरीर को खुजली हो रहा है और वो किनारा जो था नोक, उसमें वो घिस रहा है, उसको खुजली हो रहा है। और भूत आया, आज किसको करा था, राधु को मैं बोला था आज भूत कैसा होते हैं। रात को मैं सोच रहा कौन आया, हाँ स्मशान घाट तो गंगा किनारे, भूत तो आते हैं कोई भूत आया क्या। तो सुना बार बार घर घर वो घिस रहा है जीव कैसा बनते हैं, मैं वही कहानी बोल रहा हूँ तो क्या हुआ, फिर बहुत देर तक जब रुक रुक करके आवाज आ रहा है, मैं सोचा ये आवाज क्या है, जब तक इसको देखा नहीं तब मैं सो नहीं सकता हूँ चैन से। आवाज आ कहाँ से रहा है, इसका सोर्स कहाँ है, क्या कैसे भूत मैं देखूंगा इसको। धीरे से मेरे पास एक टॉर्च था और लाठी था एक, धीरे से दरवाज़ा खोल के बाहर आया, चारों तरफ टॉर्च लगाया, कहीं नहीं कुछ। पीछे जाओ घूम कर दे, महाराज यमराज के दूत बस आया है, अरे घिस रहा है तब फिर मैं सोचा थोड़ा कांटे चारी तरफ लगा दो और एक गेट बना लो, लकड़ी काट के ऐसा बना करके, तो कोई जानवर कूद करके नहीं आएंगे, हम आएंगे। चारों तरफ कांटे काट के लगा दिया, धीरे धीरे कैसे बंधन में पड़ता है। और फिर उसमें कभी हवा में उड़ जाता है, कभी कुछ हो जाता है, धीरे धीरे फिर पत्थर का, कोरा पत्थर ऐसा इकट्ठा करके चारों तरफ बाउंड्री बना दिया, इतना मेरा फिर बाद में और थोड़ा बढ़ा पैर और थोड़ा बढ़ा, तो इस ढंग से थोड़ा जमीन, फिर बाद में वो पत्थर भी गिर जाता कभी, तो ढंग से उसको रख करके फिर एक पत्थर का एक गेट बना करके उसमें एक दरवाज़ा लगा करके कोई ना आवे, रात को कोई आ जाते हैं, जानवर आ जाते हैं, दो चार फूल लगा दिया, तो फिर सुख संगे न बदनाती बाउंड्री धीरे धीरे अब देखो आश्रम बन गया, आश्रम बन गया इसी प्रकार संसार में हम फंसते हैं। और ये बाउंड्री कैसे बनता है और जीव कैसे बनता है, धीरे 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 धीरे। आज उसको, आज क्या दो चार दिन के पहले भी और आज भी थोड़ा बहुत चर्चा किए थे, जीव शरीर को कैसे बनाता है, इधर भी बता रहे हैं। 5 भूतों के साथ संपर्क करते हैं, 5 जो क्या कहते हैं तन मात्रा, मैं देखना चाहता हूँ, मैं सुनना चाहता हूँ, मैं 2 फूल सूंघना चाहता हूँ फूल लगाऊंगा तो उसका सुरक्षा भी चाहिए, आँख चाहिए तो उसके ऊपर पलक भी चाहिए है कि नहीं। तो इसी प्रकार धीरे धीरे शरीर को बनाया और 5 तन्मात्राओं के मदद से और उसको बना करके उसके ऊपर ये मैं हूँ ऐसा करके प्रवेश किया, ऐसा जीव बना। यस, तो कैसे बाउंड्री कैसे बनता है और जीव कैसे बनता है? जो खुल्लम खुल्ला सारे दुनिया में घूम सकता था, वो आज इस बाउंड्री के अंदर बंधने पड़े। इतना मेरा है, इसके बाहर तेरा है, तेरा मेरा शुरू हो गया। और इस बाउंड्री को फिर तोड़ दो तो जहाँ देखूं उसका मालिक मैं हूँ वो मेरा है। इसी प्रकार जीव, the individual soul is formed and one ray, that is eye, one ray, so many eyes, as many parts of, parts means there is no part, just as my body, even a small hair is the part of my body. Is there any number of parts in my body? Huh? Even you take one hair, it has got different parts. One is always many, many is seen as one. So similarly, this universal awareness, when it becomes formed with demarcating lines as I, then that becomes the individual being, which is no way different from the absolute, no way different. Only the boundaries makes the difference, creates the difference. I am the body. If this body is not there, then there will be a question, when the body is decomposed or it is dead and gone, why not the individual soul gets freed from all this? Why again it creates another body? No. That's how the individual soul, the individual self, is different from the causal body. The subtle body is different from the causal body. Subtle body has the idea that I am, whereas the causal body has not such idea. It is universal presence. Your causal body, my causal body is same. That ray of awareness which gives the presence, which gets aware of his absolute presence. So causal body is same for everyone. Government's presence is same for the whole country. But individual states, district headquarters, or your subdivisional headquarters, all these are different from each other. Whereas the government is same everywhere. That is causal body. And these units, they are the individual beings. And smallest to individual citizen, that also is part and parcel of the government. To such extent it can be divided, the whole government. Similarly, the universal awareness can be innumerable individuals. And if the individuals do something, as doer and enjoy something as enjoyer, it has got no influence, no effect on the government. Nothing. So tomorrow we shall see further. I told you this is so important sloka. We have to see it thoroughly, elaborately, well, with all-round vision, so that we will have some clarity between the individual being, the relationship between the individual being and the Absolute. And what is bondage, what is freedom, how Lord said in the last stanza that abode is supreme abode, where reaching where nobody gets out of it, never comes again back to this mundane life. That means once the boundaries are broken, once the ray is one with the sun, then that cannot be separated again. We shall see further tomorrow. Hari Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadguru Bhagavan ki jai, Satchidananda Bhagavan ki jai, Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Gita Mata ki jai. Hari